Tonight on KGW News, an arrest in the case of a Portland grandmother punched out of nowhere by a stranger. Plus,
I thought this can't happen.
Piles of garbage and a plan to close its doors. Why health officials worry the loss of this Portland hospital could leave a big gap in critical care.
And community members asking the city of Gresham to declare a state of emergency as many continue living in fear of ICE.
This is a crisis. Businesses are losing, families are being torn apart.
Then, how rescuers pulled a driver to safety after he was stuck for hours dangling over the edge. And later,
we will win the Pac-12 championship and a bowl game with class, integrity, and academic excellence.
A big, and you might say bold, promise from Oregon State's brand new head coach. Good evening. We begin tonight with piles of trash stacking up inside of Portland's hospital's gates. And now we have learned that hospital, which plays a fairly unique role in our community, will be closing its doors and in just a couple of months. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Molko. While the trash may have some neighbors concerned, health officials are more worried about the closure, one they say could impact Oregon's entire hospital system. Alma McCarty's in the newsroom to explain. Alma?
Yeah, David, come February 1st, more than 300 workers at Vibra Specialty Hospital in East Portland will be out of a job. The CEO confirmed the closure and layoffs today.
This hospital is just for long-term acute care.
Vibra Specialty Hospital of Portland, a place for patients with critical and chronic illnesses who need extended time in a hospital setting, a step between traditional hospitals and rehabilitation centers.
Well, this is the one place in Oregon that they can come to.
However, that won't be the case for much longer after a December 1st notice informed 310 employees that they'd be laid off from Vibra in 60 days. Nurses and nursing assistants, therapists and pharmacists out of a job. The CEO of Vibra telling KGW this decision to close the hospital reflects ongoing financial challenges that have made it unsustainable to continue operations at this location. Neighbors like Terrence Johnson noticed a change even before the workforce reduction announcement.
And when I walked by this pile of garbage that I saw next to the hospital, I wasn't the least bit surprised.
KGW has inquired specifically about the heaps of trash still visible from the road and has yet to get an answer.
Well, I hope they can find a way to keep it open, because if they close it, the building will be sitting there empty.
A spokesperson for the Hospital Association of Oregon also expressing disappointment over the shutdown, writing in part, "The closure is a big blow to Oregon's fragile continuum of care. When hospitals can't discharge patients needing longer-term support, fewer beds are available for other community members who need them. And this can lead to backups all the way to emergency departments."
Neighbors also told me they are concerned about yet another large employer closing in the Gateway area. And David, worth noting, this announcement follows the Fred Meyer and Kohl's closures earlier this year. Back to you.
Yeah, safe to say that neighborhood's been through a lot of changes. Thank you, Alma. In an update tonight, police have arrested a man they say randomly punched a Portland grandmother. The crime was caught on camera, and a warning, the video is tough to watch. The 69-year-old woman was attacked a week ago Tuesday while taking out the trash in a parking lot near Southeast 122nd and Powell. Today, authorities arrested 24-year-old Santos Puerto Rios and say he is also suspected of assaulting a 21-year-old a few blocks away. It turns out that happened 15 minutes after the assault, and the suspect was taken to jail at the time, then later released. Police re-arrested him today when detectives linked him, they say, to the attack on the grandmother. Puerto Rios faces 2 counts of 4th-degree assault, and more charges could be added.
Declare a state of emergency now and treat this like the public safety crisis it really is.
New tonight, a cry for help in Gresham, where families are pleading with City Council to step in and do something. This is all over President Trump's immigration policies, and in particular, the very visible crackdowns that continue throughout the Portland Metro. Catherine Cook was at tonight's meeting.
Many here in Gresham are living in fear of ICE and have rearranged their lives, hoping to avoid detention. They're asking the city to consider declaring a state of emergency here, hoping for even a small layer of protection.
Our city of Gresham is under attack. Federal agents are carrying out violent sweeps against innocent people.
Emotional public testimony describing a community exhausted and afraid.
That I stand with our immigrant families here in Gresham.
Gresham City Council members listened as one after the other, they urged the city to declare a state of emergency in response to federal immigration officials' continued detention of community members.
This is a crisis. Businesses are losing, families are being torn apart, and children are scared to go to school.
I have no doubt that Gresham's already been responding.
State Representative Ricky Ruiz is hopeful the city will do more. He believes Tuesday's public testimony will underscore what council members already know.
What we're seeing with the ICE raids and the ICE operations in Gresham have been alarming.
The cities of Hillsborough, Forest Grove, Salem, Cornelius, and Woodburn have all declared states of emergency. In Gresham, community members hope doing so would allow the city to direct funds to nonprofits that could help community members in crisis. Gresham's council didn't vote on the issue Tuesday night as it wasn't on the agenda, but they did share a statement. It said in part, "We understand this is an important issue for many of our residents and want to assure them that their safety and well-being remain our top priority. While council considers feedback from the community, we will continue to relay the concerns of our residents to our federal elected representatives and their staffs."
I have no doubt that relationship is only going to get stronger after tonight.
For now, they wait and watch.
Because if we do nothing, our silence will speak for us. It will leave a legacy of neglect.
In Gresham, Catherine Cook, KGW News.
Okay, turning to your forecast now with some fog to look out for tonight. Chief Meteorologist Matt Spino tracking it all with a first look at your weather impact forecast. Hey there, Matt.
Hey, David, thank you. Looking down at the Pioneer Square, the Christmas tree in the square is just beautiful, all lit up, not being bothered by the fog, but 100% humidity. There is fog out there. This is the view from the top of the Wells Fargo Tower. You can barely make out the city lights down below, and again, 40 degrees. And here's the view that you just showed of the city, but you can see the low clouds and the fog hanging along the tops of the buildings there. So it is beginning to get rather thick in spots, like out in Troutdale, visibility down to 1/4 of a mile, 3/4 of a mile in Vancouver. So it's setting in. So expect that for the morning commute, 2.5 mile visibility down in Eugene. But tomorrow is the dry day. We'll start out gray with fog or low clouds. Then we'll end up getting sunshine, at least a few sun breaks during the day. Won't be a lot, but we'll get a few. It's the dry day because after that the rain sets in. It's a very warm 7-day forecast I have for you, but after that we may begin to see some good mountain snow. That's the big headline. We'll talk on that a little bit later, David.
Yeah, it would be good news for skiers.
Yeah.
Thanks, Matt. To get you caught up on tonight's other headlines now, a former Beaverton police detective has been indicted on 6 counts of official misconduct. Among the allegations against Michael Ballack, convincing a woman to send him sexually explicit photos by pretending it was required for official police work. He's also accused of unauthorized use of his police badge and vehicle. The alleged misconduct occurred last year. Ballack joined the department in 2013 and resigned last month. In Salem, a high school student was arrested this morning after he allegedly brought a gun to school. In a letter to parents, Sprague High says the gun was found in the student's backpack during a standard weapons screening. School staff confiscating the firearm and then contacted police. The school says it is the first gun taken from a student since it installed the detection systems. And in a very closely watched congressional race, Republicans will hold on to a House seat in Tennessee. The AP has declared Matt Van Epps the winner in Tennessee's 7th district. That includes Nashville over Democrat Afton Bain. This is a special election after Congressman Mark Green stepped down this summer. At last check, Van Epp, who was backed by President Trump, was leading by about 9 percentage points, though keep in mind, in 2024, the president carried that very district by 22 points. New tonight, the Portland Public School Board has approved a contract for an outside agency to manage construction projects for 3 area high schools. This was a controversial vote with public and board testimony questioning the $60 million price tag, the limited time to review the contract, and the lack of public input. Renovations and construction on several schools, including Cleveland, Ida B. Wells, and Jefferson, have stalled despite bonds passed by voters years ago. That led the district to look toward a Texas-based consulting firm, Prosidio, to oversee the next steps.
The broader community needs to see that PPS is establishing a structure that will reduce risk, that will protect the resources and move these campuses forward without another cycle of uncertainty.
We can't, as a board, with the information we have so far, we can't responsibly say that this is a good deal for taxpayers. We don't know.
The board tonight also approved the purchase of the One North property in the Albina neighborhood that will house the Center for Black Student Excellence, another project that has been delayed since voters approved it in 2020.